is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
We're back at you on the Sunday, August 9th edition of the Press Box. Your boy Naughty and your company right up until 1 p.m. I will be joined in short order by Earl the Pearl and by Mega. And I'll be in the building. Start Boy will chime in short order as well, too. Do we have Earl, do we have Pearly and Mega in the building so far? All right, they will be joining us, like I said, in short order. I'm waiting for all of them to chime in. They should be able to. We'll hear about we'll hear from Mega on the Braves in Major League Baseball and the 49ers, obviously, when we talk NFL. You know who we hear about from Purdy when we talk Major League Baseball. Dear God, the Dodgers. But I got some tough questions for Purdy this morning. And a lot of people are seeing it like me, too. Are the Dodgers setting themselves up to buck their toe at the worst time ever? Series. All right, so we'll talk about that. And then, obviously, we'll hear from Stott White on the New York Yankees and the Baltimore Ravens. And you'll hear from me, of course, more Yankees and more news on the Dallas Cowboys, who actually look pretty decent in training camp thus far. But like I said, that's only training camp. The Pods came on this week. They looked a little better. But like I said, they got the scrimmage games, preseason games coming up. So we'll talk on all of that. And we'll talk about one of the most exciting NFL preseason games we've seen in a while that kicked off on Thursday night. That was a very exciting game. All right, so we will cover your Major League Baseball. We will cover your NFL. We will cover your NBA. And, of course, we will cover the home squad. We'll cover the local sports, too, as well. And that's what we're going to get kicked off with right now in short order. Purdy says he'll be joining us in 5 minutes, Mr. Producer, so look out for him. And Mega should be joining us any second. And Starboy should be joining us in another couple minutes as well, too. So the whole gang will be here in short order. But right now, let's have a look at the local sports scene. And before we get into that, though, got to pick up all my sponsors, man. Couldn't do it without them. Where are my manners this morning? All my sponsors, man. Like I said, couldn't do it without them. You know who I'm talking about. The Island Game. The game, you know. The friends you trust. The Island Game always reminds you to play responsibly. That's who we're betting and playing with and winning with all season long. The Island Game. And, of course, you get a winning chance to go to the Super Bowl, to NFL games, as well as a ton of cash all NFL season long. Simply log on to theislandgame.com. Also being brought to you by KFC Nassau. Let them do the cooking for you today. From their kitchen to yours, it's always finger-licking good. Be sure to check them out on those summer buckets. And, of course, the chicken sandwiches, the whole lineup of chicken sandwiches. Listen, if you want a chicken sandwich, get it from someone who specializes in chicken. The Colonel, not some clown. That's all I'm saying. Also being brought to you by Green Parrot. That's where we're taking in all the action all season long. That is the official watering hole of the Press Box. And we will be there to kick it off on opening Sunday as well. We're going to be live from Green Parrot, so doing big things. And then, of course, you can't forget Harborside Marine. Listen, crawfish season going on right now. You need all your crawfish traps, pots, all of that. They got that for you. You need all your fishing tackle, your hooks, your rods, your reels, your lines, your tackle boxes. They got that for you as well, too. You need your fins, your flippers, your snorkels, your goggles. Got that, too. Hawaiian sling spears, got that, too, as well. You need to put an engine in the boat, inboard or outboard. They got it covered for you, too. Harborside Marine, your complete one-stop shop for all of your maritime needs and your boating needs, all right? And this summer, you got to get the boat in, you got to go to Harborside Marine. Pick up to all the sponsors. Now, If you want to chime in and be part of the conversation and get into the press box today, phone lines are open here in New Providence, 323-6232, 325-4259, 325-4316. Toll free at any one of the Family Islands, 242-300-5720. 242-300-5720. Stream us live. Take us wherever you want to go. GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. All right. Let's jump into the local sports scene. Let's have a gander at what's going on locally. And let's start off with tennis. Yep. Bahamian women's professional tennis player Sydney Clark was in action in the International Tennis Federation ITF World 15 tournament and whom I touted out Mexico over the last 2 weeks. All right. And she was doing her thing while she disappointed that she missed the opportunity to compete at the 2026 Central American and Caribbean Games. Sydney Clark returned to competition at the ITS W15 tournament in Mexico over the last 2 weeks. Clark had one of her best showings over the last 2 weeks in women's doubles competition alongside Indian professional player Sumrita Jagtedo Verma. The tennis duo battled hard in the main draw, but missed out on a berth into the final following a 3-set loss to American Isabella Foshi and Montserrat Maron Barraco in the semifinals. But lost 6-1, 1-6, and 9-11. Prior to the semifinals, the duo secured consecutive victories in the opening round and quarterfinals. So good stuff there, and glad to see she's doing her thing on the international scene with international partners and competition. Let's slide it over to golf. The Bahamas remains fourth in CAGC play. Following round 2 of competition, Team Bahamas remains in fourth place overall with 26 points as the 2026 Caribbean Amateur Golf Championships continued on Wednesday at Bahamas Royal Blue Golf Course. While the host nation remains in fourth place, teams swap positions in the top 3. Puerto Rico, the defending champions, maintained their lead and now has the tournament best total of 37 points heading into round 3. The Dominican Republic and Bermuda swapped places in the second and third positions. Bermuda took over the DR in the team standings to claim the second spot with a total of 33 points, and the DR fell to third place with 28 points. That's heading into day 3. Team Bahamas head coach David Harris talked about the host team's performance throughout the 2 rounds of play. Overall, I'm pleased with where we're at, he said. We knew coming into this championship that the margins would be very small, and after 2 rounds, we're in a position to compete for a podium finish. We had some outstanding individual performances, particularly from Alexander and Madison in the opening round, and the ladies have been very consistent throughout the tournament. That said, I believe we've left some shots on the golf course. We had too many missed-scoring opportunities, and that's been the difference between where we are now and where we have the potential to be. The encouraging part is that our players recognize that, and they're committed to making the necessary adjustments. Our focus has been on staying patient, playing one shot at a time, trusting the work we've put in. So, let's see where they end up. Should have the results for you tomorrow. And Sheldon should be able to bring them in. I smell Dodger Blue. Is that Pearly in the building?
In the building. What's happening?
Well, we got to talk when we get the baseball, boy.
No problem.
There ain't gonna be no easy road for your Dodgers. We've been for Megan Stopworth.
I don't expect it to be.
No, we're gonna talk about it. It's not just me, throwing, Yankee hate at you. It's actually, something that we need to look at. Don't want you to potentially buck you out to it at the worst time possible, Let me just wrap up the local scene there. Pearly Cartwright just misses medals at CACs. This in hurdles. Davis advances to the finals in Eugene, Oregon. This in track and field. And I'm referring to none other than a trio of Bahamian athletes advanced out of their opening heats at the 2026 World Athletics Under-20 Championships at Haywood Field in Eugene, Oregon on Thursday. Zion Davis, Kazaria Thomas, and Kia Maria Hanna were amongst the standout performers on day 2 of the junior athletics meet. Davis, the current junior national record holder in 400 meters, continued to live up to the reputation and long. Yet quarter mile around a 46.73 seconds to place second in the heat 3 of the men's 400-meter race, entering the semifinals with the 19th fastest time overall. But he didn't stop there. In the semifinal, He dug deep to secure a top finish. He got the job done with a top 3 time of 45.96 seconds to advance to the men's 400 final. That might be the next great 400-meter run out of the country right there, Pearly. What say you? And either Pearly's on.
He is the next great. He is already. He is. The junior national record is running 46. At that age, he's going to be something special as we come along. Look at him, Zion. Look at him, Zion. Look at Egan. These some good kids.
I think we got some potential in the pipeline in track and field for sure. The Bahamas wraps up fourth at the CACG. All right, the Team Bahamas maintained its position in fourth place, and they closed out in that position at the 2026 Caribbean Amateur Golf Championship at Bahamas Royal Blue Golf Course on Thursday. They improved one position from fifth place last year. Puerto Rico successfully defended its titles, winning both the George Teal Trophy and the Herman Cup. The victors totaled 58 points following 3 rounds of golf. Bermuda finished second, the Dominican Republic finished third, and the Bahamas finished fourth. The BAPA, the Bahamas Athletic Physique Alliance, set the stage the first Bahamas Elite Physique Championship scheduled for Saturday, August 15th, starting at 7 p.m. at the University of the Bahamas.
Is that bodybuilding?
I guess. I mean, we have elite physiques in our own way, Pearly. We should enter. Maybe that'll do a category for us.
You brought a story back. I went to see Naughty by Nature. Naughty by Nature lead singer is a really huge guy.
Trigger finger.
Me and another big guy standing next to each other talking, and then the guy says, "All right, all the big guys, let's take off our shirts." I look at my friend. My friend look at me. He said, "Bro, when they see him take his shirt off, they see dollar signs. When me and you take our shirt off, they see something different. Let's not, with that." So you brought back a really awful memory this now.
That was a good move. Yeah. You didn't want that on popping up on the internet later on, 38.
You know what I mean? Look up early.
The Bahamas picked up a pair of bronze medals at the 2026 Central American Caribbean Games in Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic on Thursday. This competition begins to wind down. After being third for much of the competition, the Bahamas two-person mixed dinghy team of Patrick Tomlinson and Mary Jack Nash ended the competition with a bronze medal in sailing.
Yes.
Meanwhile, FedEx national record holder in the men's pole boat, Brendan Vanderpool, made sure he wasn't going to be left out.
Yes, his dad was the former pole boat record holder. Now he's the record holder.
Vanderpool soared 5.10 meters, 16 feet, 8 3/4 inches to finish third in the men's pole boat. Bahamas now has 3 medals at the CAC Games thus far. The historic silver that was won in wrestling last weekend, and the 2 bronze medals in separate sporting events on Thursday. Yes, and wrestling. I've been telling you all, get Greco-Roman wrestling in this country. You know how many young men could actually get scholarships to school for Greco-Roman wrestling?
Yep.
Yep. So I mean,
I like watching it. I like watching it. When I was in university, I used to go watch the wrestling team. I mean, I did it, but they weren't very good. But I used to go and watch them.
Yeah, it's something to do. Definitely on college, that's a big time thing now. When they got the wrestling matches, people go out to watch. College kids are going to go support their teams.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But like I said, good to know that we still got Bahamians doing things and excelling in different sporting disciplines as well, not just track and field. Section of youngsters coming up, and I think the potential is there. We just have to tap in and harness it correctly.
What's going on with our water polo team? Have you heard anything? I haven't heard much from them. I haven't heard anything from them in a while.
I think this might be Coach Jody having to restock, because remember, he stocked it so well. He had 2 or 3 years worth of guys and girls that were coming up the pike that could have played in that program. Yeah. All of them have gone on to university out of that first batch. So obviously you got to look at the second wave. I'll make a few calls and see what's going on. If Coach Jody is still coaching, I know it's probably just a downtime, but you'll see the team come back up again.
Okay.
Because he knows how to build a squad.
Level.
He knows how to build a squad. They're legendary at Carifta level. Nobody could touch her.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you brought that up because he's a friend of the show. We need to check on him and see
Yep.
how that program is doing.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to get to the break. Flip side of the break, Stott Boy will join us. Pearlie will be in the building. We're going to talk Major League Baseball coming up on the flip side of the break on the Sunday, August 9th edition of the Press Box. Brought to you by The Island Game, KFC Nassau, Green Parrot, and Harborside Marine.
Budgeting and saving? Yes. Investing? Check. But what if you could do more? With an RF brokerage account, access to local investment opportunities right as they come to the market. Never miss a bond or new share offering again. Plus, you can house all your investments in one place and benefit from expert investment advice. Contact us at brokerage@RF Group. Doing more today. Some conditions apply. RF, money at work.
Summer's here, and KFC's got summer buckets just for you. Every bucket starts with 8 legs and thigh pieces of your favorite chicken, plus 4 golden biscuits. Grab the value bucket for just $20 or go big with everything you need for summer fun on the beach, boat, or on the road. Need more? Add 4 Pepsis, Fountain Fries, or the new mango dessert biscuit for only $5. KFC's summer buckets have big flavor, big value, and finger-licking good chicken only at KFC Nassau.
Play with Island Games. We making dreams come true. Play with Island Games. We paying more out to you. Don't mess in the market. You getting cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is spicy and spicy is tradition. So when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first. Guaranteed to pay. Island Games. We like them other jokers. We've been here from the start. From the bike to computer. Island Games. We can make your dreams come true. We playing with Island Games.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big or small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back at you on the Sunday, August 9th edition of the Press Box. Yours truly, Naughty, along with Earl of Pearl, Mega, and Stott Boy in the building. I think we got Stott One. I think we got Earl of Pearl in the building, correct?
Yep.
We got a Mega sighting yet?
I don't believe so.
I know Mega will be long in short order, but now that we're all here, we're definitely going to talk baseball. And I think maybe, Stott Boy and I, out of the way there, Pearlie.
I'm here.
All right. And I said I have to say this, Mr. Producer, let's go with the Yankee clip first. All right? Because I don't want to come off holier than thou when I say, you got to keep an eye on your Dodgers. All right? I'm going to give you reasons why you're going to keep an eye on your Dodgers. But right out of the gate, Stott Boy, our Yankees have underachieved, but I fear The trade we made over the last couple of weeks and the prospect that we brought up, one George Lombard Jr., buddy. I think that the future is there at shortstop.
Absolutely. That's why we've beaten the Braves in the series.
But where does it really put us? Does it put us in a contendership position in the American League?
When we get Aaron Judge back, I think we'll be contenders. I mean, the chemistry might be a little bit off, but the American League is still wide open. When you look at all the records, the best team is the Rays. Like, come on.
Yeah, but you keep
there's
saying, come on, but
potential
the Rays have played consistent baseball all season.
Correct. And
they've
we've
not let you
played,
guys. They've not let you guys take them over. I think you took them over for a day, for a minute, and they've held firm.
they have, and
Yeah,
they're
good
doing that
team.
while we don't have our best player.
Yeah, but they have a couple of injuries too.
Yeah, but none as impactful as losing Aaron Judge. I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying it'll be a different playing field once we get that hitter back.
But as long as there are no fly balls that come there and George, you should be all right.
Oh, you would. Okay.
I'd have to throw it now because I know some shade coming at me in a minute.
I wasn't even going to do it, but my pops will do it tenfold for me. You know what I mean?
You got
I
that
know.
right, kiddo.
You
Let's
want
check
to
in. It's funny you brought up Aaron Judge. Start boy, you said, when Judge makes his return, the Yankees swoon should be over. We should be all right. Check in with Stephen A. Smith. He's concerned that his return won't be enough for the Yankees. Stephen A. thinks the Yankees are in the shoot already.
Isn't he? He's a Yankee fan.
Yeah, let's check in with Stephen A. And ESPN.
Aaron Judge, we know he's a stud. I'm proud to have him as a Yankee, no doubt. But if there is a blemish on his illustrious resume, it is his performances in the postseason.
Absolutely.
Although, as of
No
late,
doubt.
he's performed better. Now let me throw these numbers at you, Jeff Passan, that I know you know, but I'm going to regurgitate them for the public at large who probably does not know. When Judge was healthy, through May 31st, the Yankees were 36 and 20 in the American League. Since he's been down since June 1st with the rib injury, they're a 500 team at 28 and 28. When Aaron Judge was healthy, they were giving you 5.2 runs a game. Since he's been out, they're giving you 3.9 runs a game. Their batting average was at 243. It is now 219 since June 1st, dead last in the majors. Their on-base percentage was 334 when Aaron Judge was there. Since June 1st, they're at 283, dead last in Major League Baseball. And their slugging percentage has dropped from 436 to 386. One player, Jeff, should not have that kind of an impact, that collateral impact on a team, especially with a team like the Dodgers that you're chasing. The fact that the Yankees are so reliant on this one person in order to be above decent concerns me. It's not right now. I'm not writing an epitaph. I'm not saying they can't compete, but damn it, Jeff, it's the Yankees, man. It's the Yankees.
Yeah, it is the Yankees. So, I think we get looked at under a different microscope than a lot of other people.
Yeah, but he's right. He's right because all a good team got to do is take the bat out of Aaron Judge's hands, and that's it. If nobody else is going to perform, they could pitch around him, they could walk him, depending on the situation, and get away with taking the bat totally out of his hands. And others have to carry this thing. So you got to perform. Next man up, they got to perform until he's there. He needs help.
And then obviously, that with me that leans to team building and when I say how a team is put together, how do they last, how do they fight, how do they so on and so forth. And that falls on Cashman.
Well, not to some degree.
And now, has Cashman done a good job putting this team together over there?Maybe it's the time for someone to...
I don't know. I think he's put a really good pitching staff together. You guys got a great bullpen, got an excellent starting lineup. I think the fact that you gave Stanton a big long-term contract has hurt you because you should have gotten rid of him by now. But I guess his contract up this year or next year, so he'll be gone. Volpe has been a work that has not worked out for the Yankees. And Jazz is up and down. I think if Jazz gets back and plays what he's capable of, the Yankees, he's going to have to deliver to help the Yankees. Lombard Jr., he's fresh. I don't know how he's going to respond to the playoff pressure. That's another thing to look at. But the Yankees, I think, have a good team. The Yankees have a good chance of coming out of the American League. I really believe that. I'd love to see the Yankee World Series again.
Let's check in with Stephen A. though, and his take on the future of Brian Cashman in New York. I agree with you. If Judge comes back and we got a little gel going on, a little chemistry. But you never know. But we do have the pitching to keep us there. The pitching is there. They've done a great job with the pitching staff.
Pitching wins championships.
Let's check in with Stephen A.
Well, considering the fact that it's not as much as Yankee fans were hoping, when do we start looking at Brian Cashman, who's been around for a long time? There's a lot of stuff, particularly on my radio show and others, people calling in, complaining about Brian Cashman. Maybe his time is up, whatever. I know I don't mean to put you on the spot like that, but I'm asking sincerely.
No, put me on the spot because the answer is they want. People have been about Brian Cashman for 30 years today. Yeah. This has been going back decades. And I understand that the Yankees have not won a World Series since 2009, and that is seen as fans by unacceptable. At the same time, the Yankees, year in, year out, win baseball games. And I understand a lot of that has to do with their resources, of course. And if you are judging by championships and championships alone, they have not done their job. But the reality is they are seen within the industry as a strong, well-run, intelligent, functional organization when you have like half the league that doesn't have those in place. So
let me say this. Last point. I like Brian Cashman. I'm certainly not advocating for him to be gone. I want to be very clear.
Nor should you.
Don't be that guy. What I am saying is this. When you tell me that the Dodgers organizationally are head and shoulders above everybody else, an exception to that everybody else should be the New York Yankees. The New York Yankees are in the top media market. The New York Yankees got cash. They've got pockets. They may not utilize it, but they got it. There's really no excuse in the eyes of fans why the New York Yankees should be, faring fair weather stepchildren to the Los Angeles Dodgers. What do you say to that?
Now, I think Stephen A. makes some points, but I think Stephen A.'s talking from just a long-suffering Yankee fan. I say 33, 34 years, that's a long time.
Yeah, but he's delivered. I think it's more.
I mean, he's delivered along that time frame and during that time frame and during that time period. But
you got to understand, it's not George there anymore. So the spending isn't like, he may want to be doing some things and they may just not have let him pull the trick on certain things.
This is true.
I think Brian Cashman is one of the best in the business. He's one of the best in the business.
Hank may be he's cut his
suit to fit the cloth. And hopefully he gets more money to spend and they will open up the checkbooks and you'll see a different day.
Maybe I think Hank is a little tighter on that checkbook than his dad, George, was. What say you, Stud Boy?
Yeah, no. The son, Steinbrenner, he doesn't open up as much. But Cashman always has us competing. That's rare to come across. But we need to start contending. So I'm kind of conflicted on whether to keep Cashman or go away from him. But he is great as us competing. He
doesn't swing the bats. He's not the one dropping fly balls.
That's true.
He put the team there, and if you look at it, I mean, and I'm not harping on, I'm making fun of it. Your superstar dropped the fly ball. Your superstar did not come up with the key bats in the World Series in the playoffs. Others did not perform. So he's put the team there that performed well all season, and then when they get to the playoffs, they throw duckhead.
I have no choice but to agree.
Yeah, you can't do anything but agree in that instance there because the proof is in the pudding, the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Now,
that's one thing with baseball. It's all about the numbers.
We'll get to your Dodgers in a second, but a team that everybody's kind of keeping their eye on in the American League, and you said the American League is wide open, and I agree with both of you and your points that you make about the American League and how it does favor the Yankees. However, Don't sleep on the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, they've come right on our tails.
Let's check in with Buster Olney, and he just wants to break down how the Red Sox have become the most dangerous team, as he puts it, the most dangerous team in the American League. Let's hear from Buster Olney, and then we'll get back in and we'll talk some Dodger baseball. But right now, let's check in on the Red Sox, who happen to be like lava hot right now. They won 13 in a row?
No, they won 15 or 16 in a row. Then they came back and won 9 in a row.
Right, lost the game and then won 9 in a row. So they're
lost last night. They lost last night.
All right, let's check in with Buster Olney and ESPN.
That dates back to the early 1900s when they were the Boston Americans, and this is the best 35-game stretch they have ever had. Buster Olney, this was a team that was ready to sell before the stretch began, and now they're the best team they've ever been. How in the world did this happen?
Yeah, Greeny, this is a team that I left for dead back in the middle of June, and was talking about who were they going to trade. Number one, they've been absolutely unbelievable during this stretch since June 25th. 2.14 ERA, a 15-1 record for their relievers. That is by far the best in baseball. 2, Wilyer Abreu, their right fielder, 9 homers his last 19 games. He's been tremendous. Alex Cora told me a couple years ago that he is very under. Wilson Contreras, who they acquired this year, hitting 23 home runs. He's an all-star. He's also their emotional leader, Greeny, day in and day out. His intensity is so important. And Sonny Gray leading that starting rotation. Instead of deciding whether or not he wanted to be traded to the Braves or some other team, he's leading the Red Sox staff. Boston, at this moment, the most dangerous team in the American League.
So there you have it.
But you heard the key word in that whole conversation is at this moment. It's one thing with baseball. Nothing lasts long in baseball. They're hot. They're hot in July, August. They're hot. Will they be hot in September, October? Will they cool down? Is the question to ask. And that's the fear. That they're so hot right now, they cannot sustain that for the rest of the season. Will they cool down at the wrong time?
And that same question, as we pivot, can be asked and said about your Los Angeles Dodgers.
Okay.
According to Buster Olney, at this very moment, he sees y'all as being vulnerable as y'all approach the playoffs.
Okay.
Now, before we hear from Olney, you want to Buster?
No, I want to hear what he has to say. Then I'll have my comment.
Yeah, typical being.
I get what I got answer.
Let's go, Mr. Producer, to Buster Olney now, breaking down, the Dodgers and why he deems them to be vulnerable heading into the playoffs.
May not be firing on all cylinders, but they are still the favorite to win the World Series, Buster. How does the league view the boys in blue as we gear up for the end of the regular season?
At the All-Star game, I talked to a bunch of players on other teams about the Dodgers, and their responses were almost uniform, which was like, the Dodgers are a great team, and yes, they'll be difficult to beat in the postseason, but it's baseball, because the Dodgers have stuff to sort out. First and foremost on the list this morning would be their closer, who last night blew another save. He is at 10.80 ERA. He's allowed 25 base runners in 10 innings. Then there's the question of Shohei Ohtani. Will he actually be able to come back and pitch at some point, or will that left knee be problematic? How will they sort through their catching situation with the 2 injured guys? The Dodgers are vulnerable. They will be vulnerable going into the postseason. They will be favorites, but I think people with other teams are going to feel like, hey, we got a shot.
Wow, Purdy.
He's right. First of all, it is baseball. Anything can happen in baseball. Second of all, we do have to figure out some things. We have a lot of injuries. Two our best players. Will Smith is out. Shohei is not pitching. Good news, Shohei pitched played catch yesterday. And he's going to throw off the mound sometime in the week. So he's progressing on his way back. Blake Snell will be back on Tuesday. Tyler Glasnow will be back the end of the month. Will Smith is showing some good improvement, so he'll probably be back the end of the month, early September. So we're managing with some key injuries. One of our best pitchers not pitching. Of course, Edwin Diaz. I'm not worried about Edwin Diaz just yet. I think he's just off the injury. He has to ramp up. This is like spring training to him right now. I think he'll be all right come September. Blake Trinan is out. He'll be back. One or two other pitchers out who should be back. We went on a 7-game losing streak last year, you know.
Okay.
Then we went 10 for 16 over a 30-day period, over a month, I think the month of July. So this isn't anything new to the Dodgers.
But I spent
No,
for the
I'm
Dallas
not spinning.
Cowboys.
I'm telling you, I'm giving you facts. We went through this last year, and how did it turn out? We're going through it this year. We have a lot of injuries. But the fact is, all right, let's look at the Yankees. You have one key injury, and you're 500 baseball. We got 3 or 4 key injuries, and we're still in first place in our division. Yes, we are vulnerable if we stay like this. But I think by the end of August, beginning of September, by the 15th of September, we're going to have a full team, and we're going to be hard to beat, very hard to beat.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, you're going for 3 straight, though. That's kind of tough.
It is tough, and I expect every team, these teams, they're coming up with their best. We caught the Red Sox, the Cubs, and the Diamondbacks. We caught 3 hottest teams in baseball in a juggernaut. We battled them last night, but it shows that the champion pedigree we had to beat them 2-1 last night. Ben Yamamoto did not have his best stuff, but still held them to 1 run. Still pitched around and pitched around. His stuff wasn't being good last night. Yes, Edwin Diaz gave up, blew the save and tied it up, but he settled down with run on third and nobody out, and was able to get out of that jam without giving up a run. So I saw flashes of the old Edwin Diaz, and after he gave up the 2 triples. So I'm not worried about him. I'll have to watch him 1 or 2 more. And I like, while you question what Dave Roberts did, I like what he did. Put him right back out there, because you couldn't have that situation in his head. Don't have no trust in me. I put you right back out there, and I'll do it again. All right, you got to do that to show your team. Listen, I have faith in you. For his head to get her in right too, and he's still thinking about this pain he had in his elbow probably and all that. So it's gonna come around. I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried right now. Are we vulnerable? Every team in baseball is vulnerable. We had the best record in baseball in 23 and got knocked out in the playoffs. Anything's possible.
Boy, I tell you. Pearly, you cannot tell me that I spent for my Dallas Cowboys anymore.
How did I spin? Tell me, how did I spin?
You just, I like how you drew back that we lost 7 games last year.
We did.
I know.
And the year before, I think we lost 6 in a row.
That's why I said, listen to this guy. He says I spin on, on the Cowboys, but look at this.
No, because what I find with in our business, they look at what's going on right at that moment and put a whole judgment on the season in that one moment. Knowing the Dodgers got a ton of injuries and still playing well, they ain't saying that, oh, they're vulnerable. Knowing that the Yankees had to work through some other things, oh, we don't know if Booker Hopperman and Judd come back. They say the stuff that costs to have the cooler, the cooler, what is it called? The cooler stand talk about, the office talk, the you and I talk, others talk, and else we don't have anything to talk about if they don't push that stuff in and get us thinking differently. If everybody come out, oh, don't worry about the Dodgers, they're injured, but they'll be all right. That ain't no fun. It's good for somebody to come back and say they're vulnerable now and cost me have to, in your words, spin.
Okay. Well, I guess you tell me.
What you say, Stat Boy?
I don't know why anybody would doubt the team that's won back-to-back World Series and just added one of the best pitchers on the planet to their team, who clearly is still figuring some things out. It's early days, but I don't know why anybody. It's purely for clicks. It's purely for clicks, because the same guy is probably going to be crying again when the Dodgers are in the championship series or the World Series, because they were supposed to be vulnerable, right? People got to stop putting so much stock in the regular season. If that was the case, the Rays and the Brewers would be in the World Series right now, and nobody would watch because it would be horrible, terrible ratings. No one cares for the teams, and people know. See, people want the Dodgers to lose, but you also love having the thrill of hating on a team. It's the truth. But objectively, y'all are the best team. So I wasn't even minding him talking about vulnerable.
Very interesting.
We shall definitely see. Definitely got to keep an eye on things now. Open American League, vulnerable Dodgers. Boy, I don't know.
Because it's going from the dog days. We're in the dog days, and then you get to the playoff before the playoffs, and then teams start positioning themselves.
That's true.
All right, let's get to the break. Mr. Producer flips out of the break. We'll talk WNBA when we get back right here on the Press Box.
Boy, they got some drama.
I've been waiting for this.
Dive in hot with the new KFC Dunk Buffalo Ranch. Crispy ranch chicken sandwich with buffalo sauce on the side. For just $8.95, get messy with it and dunk it how you want it. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Everybody dunk. Everybody ranch.
Always on the go? Missed a show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Play with Island Games. We making play with Island Games. We paying more out to you. Don't mind the noise in the market. You getting cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is spicy and spicy is tradition. So when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first. Guaranteed to pay Island Games. We like them other jokers. We've been here from the start. From the bike to computer. Island Games. We gonna make your dreams come true. We playing with Island Games.
Running low on summer funds? Squeeze every drop of fun out of your summer with Fidelity Personal Loan. From backyard upgrades to family getaways, Fidelity is here to help. Call 356-7764 today.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back at you on the Sunday, August 9th edition of the Press Box, brought to you by the Island Game, KFC Nassau, Green Parrot, and Harborside Marine. 11:47 p.m. is the time, and boy, let me tell you, we're going to tiptoe across the tulips on this one. Because we got to talk about it. Last week, I just tried to touch on it. and keep it moving. But I did figure that it was going to escalate. I figured it might get a little bit bigger. It might blossom, intended. But I just want to open this by saying, listen, however anybody chooses to live their life or identify, and that makes them happy in this world, that's on you. That's between you and God. I'm not here to judge you. The world is not here to judge you. Like Pac said, only God could judge me. So do you, and if that includes doing you, then do you. Now, do I reserve the right to agree or disagree with you doing you? Yes, I do.
Sure I do.
However, I think it needs to be done respectfully. Now, in the WNBA, their commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, sent a memo to teams that addresses ongoing discussions around transgender athletes transgender athletes in women's basketball. Now, before we get into that, she also said that she's going to continue talks. WNBA is going to continue talks about transgender athletes next week. And she says, I know many of you have received questions in recent weeks regarding transgender athletes participating in women's basketball, and I expect this topic will continue to receive sufficient attention. The Associated Press and the ESPN, I wanted to reach out to share how we are approaching these conversations at league office, and to thank those of you who have responded to questions from the media with thoughtfulness and professionalism. All right, now, here's the deal. Let me jump to the chase in all of this. If you're a transgender athlete and you want to participate in sports, form a league of your own.
No money in it. Nobody can sponsor it like that.
Have your categories. You want to be in the Olympics, have your transgender category. I'm
agreeing with you 100%.
If you're a man who identifies as a woman and you want to run track and field, then you run track and field in the Olympics against 7 or 8 other dudes who identify as women, and you run in that transgender category.
I agree.
No need for you to be running with the women.
And I don't agree with it at all. I don't agree with transgender athletes participating, particularly men who identify as women. And my example of it is Leah Thomas, the Penn State swimmer. Leah Thomas was ranked 554th in the 200-meter free. 554th when they were a man. Then ranked number 1 when they become a woman. Win the national championship as a identified woman. And that to add to it, a lot of the women on the Penn State swim team were very uncomfortable because they didn't have the operation. So they were, they're all in the locker room, everybody walking around naked. What you seeing?
Correct.
He's walking around naked with his private out there and just flapping along and they in there. A lot of them are very uncomfortable.
You went there, Pearly, but yeah, that's part of the element that factors into it.
That was an actual story. That was an actual story on the ESPN page.
But if you just look at it genetically, right? If I'm a 6'2" dude today and I decide to say that I identify as a woman tomorrow, I'm still a 6'2" dude identifying as a woman. I'm still gonna have a bigger bone structure, more body mass, more muscle mass. I'm gonna, in most cases, be physically stronger than any female I go up against.
Right, but who's to tell you you're not a woman if your mind is the only thing that matters?
My brother,
he
could die, and they could dig his body up 100 years later, and they not going to identify him as a woman.
I'm not disagreeing with you guys at all, but this is a cultural thing. And I'm not saying this with any disrespect to anybody who chooses to live their lifestyle in a certain way. This is just the facts of the matter. So I'm going to shoot it directly. In the modern society, it's all about what your mind says. It's not. They've separated sex and gender. So biologically, you're born a certain way, but it's all about what you identify as mentally. So who's to say Enes Kanter can't go and apply to be a WNBA draft prospect? Who's to say it? Like he said, if identifying and who you are is all that is required, who can tell you no? And this is where the boundaries have to come in. And this is with no hate or no disrespect. Because clearly, like Leah Thomas is a great example. The French transgender basketball player who's playing in the women's leagues is another perfect example.
Yeah, I forgot about them.
Because when Sophie Cunningham made her statements, it wasn't out of hate. It was out of fairness. And the WNBA argues for fairness on one hand, but then they don't want to keep it fair all the way around. because you want the avenue to do it. But again, no hate.
As a matter of fact, let's hear from Sophie Cunningham right now. I think we got that clip lined up.
Because she told the truth.
There's so much good going on in the WNBA. I think that basketball is being played at the highest level it's ever been. I think our team in specific, we are breaking history right now with the amount of points that we're scoring on back-to-back games. I think the Minnesota game, there's just so much distraction. I think the WNBA media, all we ever do is cover everything except basketball. And it's like, what are we doing? There's so much. Like, you can talk about other things. I think those are great stories. It shows fans, who people are outside of the court. I also think we got to keep the main thing. And I think when it comes to the Minnesota game, I think there is so much distraction. But, like, the matchup between Miles and Kelsey was phenomenal. Our team, that game in particular was a great game. And so I think that there's a lot to be said, and I'm going to let people just do the speaking for themselves. But for me, I want to get back to basketball. It's always been about basketball. That interview happened in February when I was asked a question. And so for me, I just want to, make sure that it stays, the focus stays where it should, because people are playing at such a high level. We have probably like 3 MVPs that could be MVPs on our team specifically. And so that's why I want to do that.
All right, 52 hit us back. I was just coming to get to the phone lines, 52, and you dropped. So if you get a chance, call us back, 52, because I definitely want to hear what you have to say on this topic. But there's Sophie Cunningham right there. I think, heck of a player right there. I like her far better than Caitlin Clark. But like I said,
there was no need to interject. There was no need to interject that hate. But anyway,
She got a new fan in Pearly.
Yeah, because she told the truth and she's direct about it, and it wasn't out of hate or malice. It was just truth. And too many non-basketball narratives around the WNBA, when the WNBA is probably in its best time period in terms of revenue they're making, TV ratings, but yet we're still talking about this.
Yeah.
It just shows you. And she didn't make a malicious comment, because if you really support women's sports, you would agree with Sophie Cunningham. So do you support women's sports, or do you support an agenda? It's not a hateful thing, and it's not a malicious thing and an anti whoever thing. It's about fairness in women's sports. That's like putting somebody from a U15 category in any athletics to play against U11s. They're going to have an advantage. You can't have a disadvantage in sports. The fairness and the competition is what it's about. That's what sports is built on. So but see, this is the kind of
we've all made our points. I think we've all made our points at tulips on this one. Now we've got to the other side of the tulips. We can talk about a sour flower. What is going on with Caitlin Clark? Now, this is no hate, but I have to ask you this, and probably I'm going to put it there for you and start where to talk about, because obviously, you guys already know that is my new hate muse when LeBron retires. But I'll be honest with you, the WNBA rescinded a technical foul against Caitlin Clark on Saturday, less than 2 hours after she received what would have been her 8th of the season, and that does come with penalties, correct, Stat Boy?
Yeah, you would be suspended in the NBA, but Caitlin Clark has been the recipient of a lot of hard fouls, a lot of non-calls, a lot of things like that. So I just hope you call it full 100.
Right, and I'll call it full 100. Maybe she's getting a lot of them hard fouls and a lot of those calls, and because her mouth is very chippy and she's very entitled, and she talks down to referees demanding calls.
She's entitled?
Has a lot to say. She's very entitled.
So Luka Doncic is entitled as well.
No. I'm not talking about Luka. We're talking about Caitlin. And yes, she's just entitled to in his own right, but that's
I just want to admit that, because they do the same thing. They do the exact same thing.
But I'm not talking about Luka.
Okay, well, you have to be fair, because it's not something unique to just her.
I am talking about the fact that she's been very entitled, very chippy. She has that same attitude that she had in college when she lost. And
I don't think she's ever had an attitude.
Listen, I understand you taking your stance for Caitlin. The videos don't lie. The back and forth don't lie. And
but this is nothing new under the sun.
Hold on. If you say something to me initially, and you catch me throwing an elbow in the back of your head, and you miss the initial insult, that don't make her no angel. That makes her just one in there chopping it up just like everybody else. She's not special. And if you look at the level of her play this year in the league.
21, 4 boards, and 8 assists, and shooting 44%.
She's been a very high performer. I got to give her that credit.
She's been a high performer. Great. She's not been the dominant of the league.
Well, no, because Asia Wilson is still there in her prime.
Asia Wilson's still pumping in 26.3. Then you got Mitchell from Indiana at 24.2. Then you got Caitlin Clark at 21.6, tied with Brianna Stewart of the New York Liberty at number 3 at 21.6. And then Copper. Or is that? Yeah, Copper from Phoenix at 20.8.
Mitchell from Indiana gets those, abilities and opportunities to score because Caitlin Clark usually attracts a double team and gets flagrant fouled on a lot of plays. And it just depends if the refs will call it or not. Yeah. This is just fairness. They do. Completely fair. I've not said Caitlin Clark is the best player in the WNBA. I've not said anything of the sort. But you can't take away her performance as a 3-time in a row All-Star to start her career off, averaging 20 a game, averaging 8 assists a game. I mean, she's probably going to be the best guard in the league by the time the season's over.
But Freddie, can I get an amen? Didn't your girl make 3 straight All-Stars?
Oh yeah, my girl is doing quite well, and it's on the national day.
Who's your girl?
The Angel. The Angel. Okay. Oh, the Angel.
Shooting 42%, 15, 11, 2 assists. Yeah, she's playing pretty good.
Anyway, I got 3 words for you all.
Double every night.
Juju Watkins. Let me give you 4 words. Juju freaking Watkins. Coming soon. Juju freaking Watkins. Cousin to Caleb freaking Downs.
She is she's projected to be the number 1 pick.
Yeah, she should be the best scorer. The hustle's there. She'd be the best guard.
And don't be surprised if the Sparks trade up and get her.
I would hope so. But
stranger things have happened. But anyway, let's check in with ESPN and hear their take on Caitlin Clark's 8th technical foul being rescinded. Special treatment or bad call by the referees?
Probably a bad call.
Let's hear from ESPN.
Clark on the drive. Finds the cutter, Hines Allen. Now Mitchell, and a technical foul assessed to Caitlin Clark. And that one is going to put her above the threshold and suspend her for Indiana's game Tuesday against New York.
So Caitlin was frustrated that she did not have a foul called on the defender.
Technical and flagrant foul in a game is reviewed by the league office, so we could see additional action coming out of this game, whether that's rescinding the technical on Caitlin Clark or upgrading any other fouls that we have seen here today.
All right, thank you very much, Ali.
And you hear it right there. The announcer said it. Caitlin was upset she didn't get the call. She's entitled.
Special treatment. But playing on, I wouldn't call it entitlement.
It's not entitlement. In any heat of the moment, you think you're supposed to get the call.
Most players will be like that. Yeah,
exactly. That's athletics. That's basketball.
Well,
how many times do you see Josh Allen throw his hands up after the lightest touch? Roughing the passer, roughing the passer. It happens.
But that's still a special treatment. All because there's a big game on Tuesday, Indiana, the Liberty, and they need her there because they cannot win without her.
Yeah, and you want to have the most ratings for that game. I mean, it's the WNBA is a business, and they're in their best business period. You want your stars to play. You want eyes on the game. I'm sorry, this is how these things go.
All right, we got to get to the flip side of the break. We'll get into the 12 o'clock hour. We'll be talking NBA. We'll be talking NFL. And that's all coming up, so keep it right where you got it. The Sunday, August 9th edition of the Press Box, brought to you by The Island Game, KFC Nassau, Green Parrot, and Harborside Marine, continues right after this.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Headed to South Florida soon? Holiday Inn Express, heartbeat of Florida fun. Whether it's business or pleasure, the Holiday Inn Express is close to sensational shopping, captivating dining, and nightlife. Elevate your Florida experience. Sleep well and rest easy at Holiday Inn Express. Complimentary breakfast buffet featuring seasonal favorites. Keep up your fitness routine in our 24-hour on-site fitness center with cardio weights, or take a refreshing swim in our outdoor pool. Your special Bahamas tourist rate awaits. Holiday Inn Express, 1701 North University Drive, in Plantation. Book your getaway now. Call directly at 954-472-5600 or the sales department for reservations and additional information.
Summer's here, and KFC's got summer buckets just for you. Every bucket starts with 8 legs and thigh pieces of your favorite chicken, plus 4 golden biscuits. Grab the value bucket for just $20 or go big with our mega bucket, packed with everything you need for summer fun on the beach, boat, or on the road. Need more? Add 4 Pepsis, Fountain Fries, or the new mango dessert biscuit for only $5. KFC's summer buckets have big flavor, bacon only at KFC Nassau.
Play with Island Games. We making dreams come true. Play with Island Games. We paying more out to you. Don't mind the noise in the market. You getting cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is spicy and spicy is tradition. So when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first. Guaranteed to pay. Island Games. We like them other jokers. We've been here from the start. From the bike to computer. Island Games. We gonna make your dreams come true. We playing with Island Games.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back at you on the Sunday, August 9th edition of the Press Box, all brought to you by the Island Game, KFC Nassau, Green Parrot, and Harborside Marine. Yours truly, Naughty, along with Earl the Pearl and Statboy in the building right up until 1 p.m. Mega should be joining us in short order. But we're into the 12 o'clock hour. 12:06 p.m. is the time. And we are talking NBA and NFL. And like I say, phone lines are open, 323-6232, 325-4259, 325-4316. Toll free in any one of the Family Islands, 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720. Text lines powered by BTC, 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. All right, talking NBA right now. And boy, where do we start? First and foremost, let me get this out of the way. Sad case of Brandon Clark. He died from the effects of cocaine and heroin overdose. Remember, former Grizzlies young and up-and-coming standout player. Was a big contributor. He passed away, like I said, earlier this year, and this from the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office. Cause of death, heroin and cocaine toxicity, which is an overdose.
It's sad, man.
Very sad situation right there.
Wow.
All right, so I think we should address NBA free agency out of the break. So before we get into the conversation, let's have a look real quick at the top remaining NBA free agents out there on the market.
Shams is reporting, starting with one of the best scorers we've seen in NBA history, Shams. DeMar DeRozan is an unrestricted free agent. What's the market looking like?
Look, probably the biggest name guy right now, DeMar DeRozan, 6-time All-Star. I'm told Miami, Denver, and Cleveland are among the teams interested in DeMar DeRozan, a scorer, playmaker, a clutch performer down the stretch of games, and two of those teams, and the Cavs and the Heat, were interested in DeMar DeRozan. But there is a player out west as well that is overlapping with DeMar DeRozan as far as interest from teams of the Dallas Mavericks. I'm told the Heat are among several championship contending teams. Klay Thompson situation have interest in Klay Thompson potentially via trade or a buyout. Klay Thompson is in the final year of his deal. You know he wants to compete for a championship as a four-time title winner. He signed on with the Mavs a couple years ago to play with Luka Doncic and Kyrie in Dallas. And let's talk again on Jonathan Kuminga. I'm told the Lakers and the Cleveland Cavaliers are among the teams seriously pursuing Kuminga. There are a couple other teams as well poking around this situation. But both the Lakers and the Cavs would have sizable roles, potentially as a starter for Kuminga, but they would need a sign-and-trade that works for the Atlanta Hawks, who declined his team option for this summer, as well as a number that Kuminga would accept as well. Those conversations are ongoing.
All right, there you have it. Lot of interesting moves still to come in the NBA offseason. That Klay Thompson to the Lakers, I told you all that steam from last.
True. I understand that Michael wants it to happen, but I understand Dallas don't want him. They're trying not to let him get to LA.
8 years too late, man. 8 years too late. But he did want to play with Luka in Dallas. That's the whole reason why he went to Dallas. So let's see.
I have a sneaky feeling. All the gassing out that tank yet.
We got 52 on the line. Let's check in with 52 real quick. 52, what's happening, man?
Yeah, what's popping, Naughty Pearls and Start Boy?
What up?
I know Naughty like talking about Dallas, right? But who played the first preseason game, Naughty?
The Arizona Cardinals and the Carolina Panthers, and it was quite an exciting preseason game, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, right. That boy still in Cincinnati, the Burrow boy.
He's still the starting quarterback in Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to hear from the Steel Curtain. But I know, I just wanted to touch in because you guys, but at least all you did was just induce common sense. I think Start Boy said, well, as a man thinketh, so is he, right? But, the feminists are attacking themselves because if someone is a woman, I don't know why would you want somebody who is genetically superior to be competing with you. Pearlie just highlighted one of the cons of this transhumanistic, transsexual, I don't want to use the word, you know what I mean? I'm not going to, but, my generation, I can't help myself. It's almost like racism back in the days. It was systematic. It was systemic, right? But the difference with the different generations is because they know that they can socially and psychologically engineer the masses to accept anything incrementally through incrementalism. That is what is being done. So you will accept anything because you're moving towards a godless, and the thing is with me, right? You know me. I ain't looking for no congruence from anybody, man. Society and human journey is moving towards a godless model. And they know this, and this is what it's designed for. Whether they could find all the euphemistic words, gender dysphoria, or whatever they could find to deal with it, right? But I don't think it's right for females. A female is a female, and God is being pushed in the background. So we would have another discussion in sports if Ben, me, you, and Pearlie them was growing up. You think we would ever thought we'd have these discussions, Pearlie?
Never.
All right, then. And it is what it is, though. I mean, I can't, within myself, enjoy. There's a lady from Africa, Abagori. I don't know if you remember her name. You remember the sprinter man? I think she runs the 2 or the one, Abagori.
Caster Semenya.
No, but there's a lady called Abagori. She's from Africa, but I don't know if I don't think she's transgender, but she's physically enhanced. I don't know if it's too hormonal, et cetera, but what I'm saying is you could look and see, but to me she looks kind of malish. But you could imagine somebody who, like Philly has highlighted it, like I said again, but it's not fair. It's not righteous. You highlighted the scenario in the locker rooms, et cetera, but the human journey is you said you look at it scientifically, I look at it pathetically. You know what I mean? But, let's see how the football season looked, though. I'd like to hear what you and Pearlie have to say with the Steelers. I was in falling up, but
that's coming up.
It was my Earth Strong.
So happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
The anniversary of the solar return, you know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah, give thanks.
I got you. I understand.
All right, 52. Yeah, man. Coming up in a short order, we'll get to the NFL, but we do have to talk NBA.
Naughty.
Uh-huh.
Now, what's up, guys?
Mega.
Hey, Mega.
Oh, it's Mega.
Hey, what's up, man? Listen, I don't want to. I ain't trying to buy 52, but the sprinter that he's talking, she just had more. That's a scientific thing. It's not like she's a model or anything. Okay, if you
No, he said that. He said he don't think she was trans. That's that she was physically.
Yeah,
that's
that's
she was born.
That's a biological thing, and there are people in the world who are like that. So that was very wrong with them. Number two, we try to pretend like homosexuality on transgender just came around in the 2020s. All our lives, these things been around, and these things been everything around. So the way that people are all of a sudden, so conscious to it is, to me, is so crazy. And these things were around before all of us who were down this parliament were born. You know what I'm saying? It's just that everything has been weaponized and politicized now because, one particular person. We ain't gonna call his name. So, that thing with Enos Cantor, I laughed at that. That's all I did is laughed at that. So it's just crazy how we just take these things now and all of a sudden now we politicize things that were here before we were born.
Yeah, they were here, but they weren't popular, if that's the right word. They weren't as exposed, as wide open.
Well, that's with social media that this comes to conversation, Burley.
Because we need rights. We need this.
The reason
thing but social media has made the world small. Yeah, and like I was telling a friend of mine before, listen, as long as you're not intruding on my personal life, I don't care what you put on television, you still have to control your children from what they watch, what they see, what they hear. I
1000% agree with that.
We're not gonna stop that. Corporations, look at their lifestyles and see how some of them are living. It ain't getting nowhere. It's still up to the parent to lead the child and say, this is right and this is wrong. But when you start to say, because of this and this person doing that, this, we got a problem, we start attacking them. No, man, we just making ourselves just as bad as they are, Yeah. So it's just crazy, bro. Like if you think homosexuality hasn't been in sports before, the guy, the NBA player who died came out, or the NFL player came up. Bro, them players is around a long time. I've heard stories in the 80s about five, and I just found this out this week. The high five that we like to do was invented by a gay man who used to play baseball, a gay black man.
Because you're absolutely correct, but the topic wasn't.
I was so shocked when I found out that it was a black man who invented the high five, and he was gay. I was like, that is crazy.
Those things used to stay under the radar because there was no societal acceptance. Nowadays, people are more accepting, and people have human rights. But that wasn't the topic of the debate. Nobody was debating anybody's human rights or not. It's the presence of transgenders in women's sports, because that's more so where it happens. You rarely hear cases of a biological woman going to a man and then saying, I want to compete in a man's sport.
Oh, allow me this moment just to interject this, but you're absolutely right, Mega. The high five is widely credited to Los Angeles Dodgers baseball player Glenn Burke.
Yes, thank you very much.
Formerly of the Los Angeles Dodgers, of the baseball Dodgers, who raised his hand in the air to congratulate teammate Dusty Baker after a home run on October 2nd, 1977. Baker instinctively stopped his raised palm, creating the iconic sports gesture. I hear Dusty was tired of him slapping him on the bungie every time he hit a home run.
But see, this is what I'm trying to say. These people are so ingrained. They're so ingrained.
Notice the silence from Purdy.
No, I mean, they probably didn't know he was gay until after this playing season. I'm pretty certain they didn't know. They may have suspected, but didn't outright know he was gay when he was a Dodger.
I don't think they would never outright know, because he'll never outright say it.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like these people were already here in our lives a long time ago, and you'd be surprised.
You are absolutely right.
How ingrained they are into our lifestyle, our culture. It's crazy, but
I think that's been involved in sports. It was kind of hush-hush in the 70s, 80s. Started to get a little more open in the 90s. With the arrival of the internet, like you said, the world has become a very small place. I don't think anybody should be disenfranchised or disillusioned or not allowed to chase their dreams. If you have a young man or young woman who happens to be homosexual and wants to play basketball or baseball or whatever, to each his own. But at the end of the day, it has to be done correctly, and it has to be done respectfully. And I think it can be done and it can be merged. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You think I care what a dude's sexual preference is? If he could stand on the mound and throw 103 miles an hour for the Yankees and go 23-4 and Minnesota World Series, you think I really care?
You ought to be the first person. You ought to be the first person to sign him and give him a big contract. Once he could throw that ball over there and get strikes out, it's sexual preference no matter.
Yeah, us to the Dodgers.
So to me, it's like we just weaponize it now because a particular person has been weaponizing it for the last 10 years in politics.
But it has, like I said, Mega, that really has to be done correctly and has to be done respectfully, so it's palatable to all sides.
I can't say it's weaponizing in this WNBA case, though, because you're opening a can of worms you can't control. Because if you really think Enes Kanter should be playing in the WNBA, hey, if y'all are going to allow it, go all for it. But then when the unfairness complaints come and people boycott the league and the players go on a strike, then what?
Listen,
go ahead.
Because your point, Mega, is completely 100% correct, but it's a different point in the WNBA.
I don't think, but Enes Kanter's not going to do that. We all know a player's already been very vocal because, listen, number one is being a man, there's certain things you're not going to stand for. You could say it or the jest and one crack joke, but when you talk about something that's going to vilify you or people look at you a certain way for the rest of your life, you're not going to do it. And
they're supporting it now, but you see, it's a can of worms. It's Pandora's box.
I think he's just saying
hold on.
This.
I think he was just having fun with it. I don't think there's too many ex-NBA dudes that want to become Joanna Man.
Naughty. There is a certain player who is trying to get his fourth ring at a fourth team. Probably love to say, I won one at the NBA level and I won one at the WNBA
Everybody
level.
True.
I'm just saying. I didn't call it no name.
Anyway, before you get in trouble on a blessed Sunday, Pearly, let's keep it NBA, but let's talk about the Clippers. And let's talk about Kawhi Leonard, this whole situation with Kawhi Leonard and now bankrupt Green Banking Company at the center of an NBA investigation. Daktronics is the company involved with Kawhi Leonard, but apparently it's at the center of an NBA investigation. Also had an undisclosed sponsorship agreement allegedly worth millions of dollars with the company that designed the Clippers video board inside the Intuit Dome. Former ESPN contributor Pablo Torre reported on his podcast. Pablo Torre finds out on Thursday. Torre interviewed someone identified as an anonymous high-level source under contract for Intuit Dome, who alleged that the sponsorship deal was 1,000% a way to circumvent the salary cap. It was funneling money from the Clippers through Daktronics back to Kawhi. So that's the gist of it. They were funneling money through the bank back to Kawhi through sponsorship deals. And you don't want me to believe Shohei Ohtani don't get money from the back of the sushi parlor?
Listen,
but anyway.
I know Kawhi Leonard cool.
You can go there?
I just had to throw that in, Pearly. That's just me being
my
facetious.
goodness. That is such haterism.
Yes. 100% unadulterated, uncut, pure haterade. But
Kawhi Leonard to me, he in bed with the boss. I think the boss can make sure he's straight. Because I don't think they can touch Steve out.
Because he on his way to the Toronto Raptors after this.
But now that opens up so many doors and so many Pandora's boxes to other people trying to do this foolishness moving down the line.
Well, it's not going to happen. I think Kawhi was really the only one doing this.
Yeah, and I just can say, you'd be surprised how long they've been getting on from like the 80s, the stuff that's been going on under the table. But like you say now with social media and people getting the internet, and you get, exposure now, you get your hands on certain things. If that comes out and you find out that that's what it was doing, get ready for a large investigation on all those owners in the NBA.
In fact, I'm checking with Stephen A. Smith right now. Here's his take on it. He says there should be banishment for Kawhi if this is investigated and found out to be true. Let's hear from Stephen A. Smith, ESPN.
But this is, if true, first things first, Pablo Torre, if it's true, outstanding work on his part. Outstanding work. Pablo Torre finds out. I mean, the bottom line is, Ain't nobody out there doing what this brother is doing right now. Give credit where credit is due to Pablo Torre. If it's true, there's no question he deserves all the credit in the world. Don't even think about getting credit. This is him. But number two, the NBA, Adam Silver, if this is true, Steve Ballmer did fool me once, hey. 2 times, aspiration, plus now Daktronics. You didn't know anything? Nobody's believing that. I love Steve Ballmer. Very nice man, very good man. I think he's a great asset for the NBA in terms of seeing him courtside and cheering it on and loving the NBA product the way that he does. But if he did this, if this happened, this is really, really bad. And I believe that Adam Silver is going to have to come down with a heavy hand. And I'm talking about banishment for at least a year for both the owner and the player. It's something like that. You're talking about dissuasive measures needing to be taken so people will know not to do this again. I'm talking about confiscation of draft picks. I'm talking about banishment for at least a year. I'm talking about sending the kind of message where no player nor any owner would even think about doing this again. That cannot happen if this is true.
There you go. I mean, I'm a Stephen A. Something got to come out of it. There is something there. There needs to be some discipline.
I agree. Somebody can be hurt.
Because now what's
I think Toronto called off the trade, right?
Well, they've put it on hold. They still want to do this probe and, hands-on punishment. So
it'll be so ironic too. There'll be another Clippers owner that got themselves in problems, eh?
Right?
Yeah.
That franchise is cursed, man.
Yeah,
they got to be cursed, bro.
But I think Ballmer could save a little bit of face out of this, but it's going to be rough to do so. Whereas Donald Sterling is a bigot. He deserved everything he got.
All right, let's go to the text lines real quick. It's not about homosexuality, my boy. It's about the imposition. The argument was about the imposition on transgenders into women's sports.
Yes.
Thinking of the definition of what is woman. Homosexuality is nothing new. There's still morals, right and wrong. Weaponizing what? Hate spreads hate. Love spreads love. Homosexuality spreads more homosexuality when it's opened everywhere as normal. We can't all agree, but
yeah, but like I say, it still comes down to you as if you have a child and so forth. Listen, hate, love, homosexuality, being straight, all that's taught inside the homes. It's what you teaching your child, when they go out there in the world. Nobody's born hatred. Nobody's born gay. It's what you teach them. It still comes down to education. We just can't turn a blind eye to that. You let the world control mold your child into what it is. Then what you expect to happen? You think Brittany Griner was born lesbian?
Absolutely not.
Speaking of weaponization, technology is being weaponized. That's what you should be worried about. I spoke to that. I said ever since the invention of the internet, here we are, and technology is being weaponized, and especially the social media.
Yeah, but then especially being weaponized. Look at the people who own these social media platforms.
But that's what they want.
That's what they want. That's what they want. You say certain things on certain platforms, you get banned or your account get taken away. So the owners are weaponizing the platform itself. Remember one time it used to be you could say whatever you want to say on these social media platforms. No, you don't do it anymore. You say certain things about a certain country and buddy,
right.
All right, let's swing back to the NBA though, because there's something that I don't want to get lost in the shuffle. Finally, the 76ers managed to have a press conference with Jaylen Brown. He was the big news, the big trade, and then, of course, a day or two later, guess who said they signed him with the Sixers?
No, about a week later.
A week later, but obviously, it was kind of put on the back burner. LeBron got the hype in this, but Jaylen Brown is actually commenting on his arrival in Philadelphia. Said he wasn't that surprised when he learned that he'd been traded because he figured it was coming in Boston. But the whole process has been crazy. And let's just hear what Jaylen Brown has to say about him arriving in Philadelphia and being in Philadelphia. Finally, we get to hear from Jaylen Brown.
What bothered you about how this all transpired?
The whole process. But to be honest, my mind is so focused on what's in front of me. To be honest, I'm moving on. Maybe one day, you share the details of kind of how everything transpired and all the moving parts. Actually, it's a lot of speculation. I feel no need to chime in on it because I'm focused on what's in front of me.
Jalen, how would you characterize your relationship with Jason over the last year, Jason Tatum? And is that a partnership you both wanted to continue before the trade?
We won a championship together. So any partnership, you would think like that's what, a brotherhood or a lifelong legacy would entail. Obviously, there's ups and downs in any type of relationship for sure. But on my end, it's nothing but respect. Besides when he plays the Sixers, I hope he does well. But other than that, everything for me is just based in respect.
Have you guys been able to talk?
Not really.
Wow. I would have thought at least they'd had a conversation by now.
And I'm willing to bet that Brown probably hasn't picked up the phone from Jason. That's what I bet.
So you think Tatum might have reached out?
I think Tatum would have reached out. I think Brown always wanted to be the guy, similar to KD in a way, but he wasn't the guy. But they had a great duo and a great tandem, though, and he won the Finals MVP and the Eastern Conference MVP and all that sort of stuff. But it was still looked at as Tatum's team. Because the truth is, without Tatum, they weren't winning. And without Tatum, they haven't won. When Brown has been asked to carry them, he can't. Tatum also really can't carry them without Brown, but Tatum's impact is more seen because he spent time out and then came back. But, it is what it is. New beginnings for all of them. I think Boston will regress a little bit. Philly on paper looks great, but how is that team chemistry going to work? Because they're saying the right thing.
I still think VJ is going to suffer in the long run just because of...
Well, this is only a 2-year deal.
Back in order.
So if he can persevere for 2 years and make the best of what he has for 2 years, I listen. I don't want to say this because I don't want them to win a ring, but if they mess around, catch lightning in a bottle and win a ring, VJ gets a ring, and he just perseveres through it and still averages around 16, 17 a night. Great defense. He's getting rebounds and assists. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
And I'll still have 6 losses in the finals to hold on to. You digitizing a little bit there, Mega.
Yeah, 5 and 6, huh?
Yeah, I don't want to talk him, though.
He'd be what, 5 and 6?
He would be 5 and 6.
Listen, and guess what? The order of this is going to create another conversation if he surpassed Jordan. I don't know how you could surpass Jordan if he's sitting in 6. 6 rings. I don't know what they math is, So it's just a narrative for ESPN, Fox Sports, them to go run with, Barstool. It's LeBron the greatest ever. That's all they want.
They'll try to resurrect all those narratives for sure. But
LeBron doesn't win a ring in Philly with this team. That's how they're gonna look at it. You went to a team with Jaylen Brown, Embiid, Maxey, VJ.
All right, Maggie, you digitized that signal for you. Let's get to the break. Flip side of the break, we'll be talking NFL. Keep it right where you got it. This is the Sunday, August 9th edition of the Press Box. All brought to you, of course, by The Island Game, KFC Nassau, Green Parrot, and Harborside Marine. Continues right after this.
At Star General, you can go gold. Comprehensive car insurance covers loss or damage from accidents, fire, theft, and third-party liability. But the Gold package gives you increased coverage for rental car and windscreen, personal accident, medical benefits, deductible waiver, and 24-hour roadside assistance where available. Our Star General Gold package Also gives you up to $2,500 to a rental car anywhere in the Bahamas. Go gold with Star General. Insurance made simple.
Buffalo Ranch, Dunk Buffalo Ranch. Get messy with it. Been hot with the new KFC Dunk Buffalo Ranch.
Hey, Dunk Buffalo Ranch.
A chicken sandwich with buffalo sauce.
Buffalo on the side.
For just $8.95, get messy with it and dunk it how you want it. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Everybody dunk. Everybody ranch. Play with Island Games. We making dreams come true. Play with Island Games. We paying more out to you. Don't mind the noise in the market. You getting cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is spicy and spicy is tradition. So when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first. Guaranteed to pay. Island Games. We like them other jokers. We've been here from the start. From the bike to computer. Island Games. We can make your dreams come true. We playing with Island Games.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back at you on the Sunday, August 9th edition of the Press Box. All brought to you, of course, by the Island Game, KFC Nassau, Green Parrot, and Harborside Marine. Naughty, Earl the Pearl, Stott Boy, and Mega all in the building for you. 12:35 p.m. is the time. Down the home stretch we come. And we got to talk NFL now. Real quick, let's start with the Hall of Fame. We got... the Hall of Fame inductions came over the weekend, or Thursday night, as a matter of fact. And Drew Brees was inducted. Who else was inducted? Roger Craig, I think. We got to tip our hat to him.
Adam Vinatieri, the greatest kicker of all time. Larry
and Luke Kuechly.
And Luke Kuechly, one of the best linebackers and receivers.
Pretty good Hall of Fame class there. Let's hear from Drew Brees and ESPN, and then we'll be back to touch on the Pro Football Hall of Fame inductees, especially Roger Craig. Mega, it was long overdue. I'm no 49er fan, but I was glad to see Roger Craig get it.
Even if it was in a way that had not been done before, it was for what came next. New Orleans. When we bought our home in the heart of uptown New Orleans, Brittany and I could not have been more excited and scared to embark on this new journey and chapter in our lives. As we were moving in, containers of housewarming gifts began to show up at the front door. As I opened the lid to the first container, expecting to see brownies or perhaps chocolate chip cookies, it was rather the smell of butter and onions and Cajun seasoning and a dark roux that made up crawfish etouffee. The next day it was jambalaya. The next it was gumbo. And we're not talking a small container. We're talking a big vat of the best home-cooked Louisiana flavors you could imagine. Welcome to New Orleans. But nothing compares to what we experienced every Monday night during my career in New Orleans. For 15 years straight, and this is no exaggeration, our neighbors, Steve and Kathy Price, would make our family red beans and rice and cornbread. Whether it was their house, our house, or with great friends like Trombone Shorty, it was what we all look forward to together. New Orleans is all about. It doesn't take you long to realize what makes New Orleans so special. New Orleans has been through a lot, to the point where in some cases the feeling was we may have lost everything. It may never come back the same. Storms teach us that our greatest treasures aren't the things that we own. They're the people we love and the way we show up for one another. It reminds us to hold our loved ones a little closer, to love a little harder, to laugh a little louder, and to never take a single day for granted. Sometimes it takes losing what can be replaced to truly appreciate the things that can't. New Orleans. You accepted me. You embraced me. But more importantly, you trusted me with the soul of the city. And I would have died to protect that calling. The greatest teams.
Wow. Yeah. If I remember correctly, I think he turned Miami down for New Orleans.
Correct.
No, Miami turned him down because of his shoulder. New Orleans was the only team to give a chance, take a chance on.
His shoulder was the.
As a matter of fact, they didn't turn him down. They turned him down for Dante Culpepper.
Correct.
Why? And Culpepper used to be all right, but oh man, but hey, that's why God has a plan for everybody, and everything happens for a reason. Drew never got the MVP he should have gotten. Drew never got the accolades in the regular season he should have gotten. But I'll tell you one thing: that Saints Super Bowl did more for that city and that franchise than people will ever know.
Yeah. And the good thing about it is him and Larry Fitzgerald were first ballot Hall of Famers. Which
And they
says a
deserve
lot
that.
about what
Well, you
Larry
knew
was.
Drew was going to get it, and Larry
Yeah.
Fitz, I wanted him to get first ballot. I was thinking he would get it, but there was an outside chance he would be like, the second year, third year. But no,
Yeah.
Larry Fitz deserved to be in first ballot for sure.
Oh, that brother could catch. He could.
And listen,
Oh,
man, you
he
talk
had-
about greatest receivers of all time. Don't sleep on Larry Fitz because he played on some bogus franchises. He was a
Top
bad
five.
boy.
No, well, he played with
Top
one
five.
biggest franchise, yeah.
But
Top
don't forget
five.
that Larry also went to. He had a chance in the Super Bowl too, so it ain't like he didn't have that opportunity there.
Yeah, but they only built Larry two true
He
contending
balled out in
teams
that
during
Super
his
Bowl.
time.
Yeah, yes, he did. I think the only black eye I would give Drew Brees was his whole thing with the flag thing with when he attacked Colin Kaepernick. Outside of that, I think he was also a dope dude. Because he did apologize after talking.
Yeah, Drew didn't mean it that way, and he took accountability. I could respect him.
So outside of that, I always like Drew, because he wasn't the tallest quarterback, but it was accurate, bro.
And he was cerebral. He was cerebral. His passing IQ was off the charts.
Imagine you 6 foot tall and most of your linemen 6'5", so you got to be trying to.
Drew more like 5'11", to be honest.
Yeah, 5'11", yeah.
You got to be finding gaps in your protection to throw it up.
Anticipation throws. That's why I got to put Drew in that top 10 for sure of all-time quarterbacks. Above a lot of people, yes. Above Dan Marino per lead. Don't mention him. Because I just had a debate with a Dolphins friend of mine the other day where I had to school him. So
You have your feeling for Dan Marino like your dad have for LeBron. So I ain't getting to that.
No, I don't. Dan Marino's top. Dan Marino's like just outside the top 10, maybe top 10. I don't hate Dan
You
Marino
gotta
at
be
all.
Quarterbacks.
You gotta be kidding me.
Speaking of quarterbacks,
But you can't put a quarterback who didn't win a Super Bowl that high. See, come on.
careful. Start by me and Pearlie had been big fallout over this.
I remember.
You all
I
fell over
remember.
Dan Marino.
Listen,
And listen to me. In team sports, you cannot judge in my opinion, you cannot judge a person on team sports when he scored 38 points and his defense gave up 41. That's so when you put that argument out forward like that, I hear your point. And championships probably revolve in who's the number one quarterback. But if you look at pure regular season statistics, top 5 easy.
If we look at pure regular season statistics, LeBron's the greatest athlete ever.
No, because LeBron took 21 years, but most of them took 14 years to do.
he's gonna waffle on this one now. This is the gray area when it comes to Marino. He's got all.
It was true.
I know you were.
All right, let's check in real quick though with ESPN because there's a lot of talks coming out of Philadelphia that the offense is not clicking. Jalen Hurts is not completing the ball downfield. Scapegoat time for Jalen again.
Every year.
Every year we get it. So let's hear from ESPN on the take on it. But I think there is something going on there. I don't know if it's between quarterback and head coach, quarterback and offensive coordinator. I don't know. Maybe it's time for Jalen Hurts to see greener pastures elsewhere. We'll see after the season for sure. But let's hear what the latest is out of Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts.
Nothing you like more.
And hold on. Because I want Jalen, and somewhere along the way, he's going to see this. The Eagles going to say, I want them to understand this. Anybody that's saying that the brother can't play, don't talking about. And they're just hating. We get that part. But there's nothing when you win. and then all of a sudden you don't win for somebody to dissect. Okay, why?
That's not you're
the level of
underselling what's
success,
being done.
the level of success, Kimberly, that you had 2 years ago. There's nothing wrong with asking, how come that didn't happen last year? That's nothing wrong with that.
Last year, double-digit
underselling the
wins,
criticism?
underselling the criticism.
Hold on.
No, go ahead.
How so? Please tell us.
Because you're saying there's nothing wrong with wondering, well, you won a Super Bowl. What happened to last year? That's not the criticism. That's not the only criticism of him.
Okay, tell us
People dissect him whether he's even, will he keep his job? Should he be the starter? Is he a top 10 quarterback? He's not even on the same tier as all these other guys. And so for me, it is, what are you judging quarterbacks on?
Agreed.
Because what you judge Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar on is they haven't won the big one. Where over here you have a Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champion, and yet still people find ways to criticize Jalen unmercifully, in my opinion.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. And I love the fact that you brought up that people criticizing him as does he deserve his job, because that was utterly ridiculous that they were doing that to him. That's fair. But I have seen you all look at, hypothetically, whether it's a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and you go like this. Could he do with them what he did with the Eagles? You see what I'm saying? In other words, we look at the personnel, we look at the team, we look at the system, we look at the coach, and we say, could that quarterback do this in that scenario? Because when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, everything fell, right? And they were dominant in the Super Bowl against Kansas City, all of this other stuff. But the point is, you do dissect it in that regard. I know that if I see, when I look at Dak Prescott, and I'm being fair here, I'm being serious, I'm not joking around, I know the brother's a big-time quarterback. I got that part. But because you're a big-time quarterback is why I criticize you come postseason, because I know you big-time. And if you big-time, how come you have 2 playoff victories in 10 years? And with the personnel that you have, and this year coming in with Pickens looking for a new contract, with him and CeeDee Lamb being as elite as they're being, Dak out there and have a subpar season. But another quarterback with a receiving core that isn't measured up to those guys, you might be able to get away with that in a way that Dak Prescott cannot. That's dissecting it. That's all I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with that.
Let's say you are.
I have to agree with the lady who was speaking before Stephen A. I do. We could talk about putting quarterbacks in different positions and this, that, and the third, but the truth is it's hard to win in the NFL. It's hard. Winning a Super Bowl is not easy. Brady made it look easy. The Chiefs for a couple years made it look easy, but it's not easy. Give Hurts his respect. Because how is he still being blamed? And you've gotten rid of A.J. Brown. You've retooled the offense to the liking that they want. And he's still like... I
give him his kudos for the Super Bowl. I do. Anybody, like you say, anybody who wins the Super Bowl, give him that credit, because that's not an easy thing to do. However,
and they destroyed Kansas City.
A.J. Brown is gone. And yet these Hurts rumors and allegations and stories keep swirling out of the locker room. So I'm wondering if there's still a disconnect in the locker room with Jalen Hurts and the rest of that Philadelphia Eagles squad.
I truly doubt it. They come for certain quarterbacks all the time. Lamar Jackson's no stranger to it. Jalen Hurts is no stranger to it. Dak Prescott's no stranger to it. Kyler Murray's no stranger to it. Soon enough, Jaden Daniels will be no stranger to it. Even Mahomes in these down years has been no stranger to it, because now people want to take it and talk like Allen's the best quarterback. You see where I'm going with this? So I don't put much stock into it because I noticed the common theme.
Yeah, they're always going to attack the black quarterback because, at one time ago, the black quarterback wasn't a thing.
Exactly.
That, half of the NFL is black quarterbacks, if you look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Never forget the Pittsburgh story.
Exactly. And these black quarterbacks are playing hell better than some of these white quarterbacks, because when you start adding that these boys not just could pass, but they also could run and scramble.
But then they get turned into another positional player because of that. If the coach has a chance to do it even in the youth and development stages, instead of letting them fully express their ability and talent. Funniest part about this whole Philadelphia story is every year, right? How come can Cincinnati win the AFC? Can Josh Allen finally make a Super Bowl? And then with Jalen Hurts, there's a disconnect in the locker room. He's not been accurate. He's not completing passes. They're not clicking. Every year, So that's why I don't put stock into it, because every time Cincinnati's out the playoffs, Buffalo chokes, Philadelphia either goes far or they will lose in the wild card. But it don't matter because Philadelphia over the last couple of years got way more success than those two put together, man. So,
all right, got to get to our picks. Brought to you by the Island Game. Mr. Producer, giving me the high side. So we'll do WNBA today. Right now, a game going on. The Aces and the Liberty. The Liberty lead the Aces 19-10 in the first quarter with 1:54 left. Coming up at 3 o'clock, you got the Mercury taking on the Mystics. Washington minus 1.5. That Mystic squad, I kept telling you about them. I got to take them minus the 1.5 at home.
They're going to roll.
You know what? You've been saying it, and they've been playing. They've been answering the bell every time. I got to ride with them on this one.
You got the Wings and the Lynx at 3:30.
That's a good game.
Minnesota minus 5.5. I like Minnesota at home. I'll take them to cover the 5.5.
They only beat the Wings by 4 the other day. Actually, no, 4 a couple months ago. And this is another rematch. Give me the Wings.
Plus the 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
We got Meg. Who you like, Pearly? Who you like, Mega?
I like the Mystics. I'm going to take the minus 5.5.
Yeah, we did the Lynx and the Wings now.
Yeah,
sorry.
Oh, Minnesota, right?
Lynx minus 5.5, correct?
Yeah. I take the Lynx, my bad. I was thinking I wanted to say something, but with the Mystics. But anyway, let's move on.
Nightcap, 7 p.m. Valkyries against the Sparks. Sparks are tanking it. Valkyries look like they're playing for something at 22-9. I like the Valkyries to win this one. I don't know if they cover the 6.5, but I like it to go for 168.
I like them to cover the 6.5.
Yeah, give me the Valkyries.
All right.
Ditto. Yeah.
And I like the Liberty to hold on to win. Liberty playing for their playoff lives right now.
All right, let me get these last texts in before we get out of here. Good afternoon, Naughty and the Press Box crew. I just love the Press Box. Today you have that sock fella from Chippenham, very quiet about the evil empire from LA and baseball. And the heavy manners, I like that. Really miss the late Muffro. We miss him too. And the sailing barber, James Johnson, he tried to keep his late father's legacy alive. May they rest in peace.
Man, that's your Yankee. That's your Yankee co-conspirator, Jeffrey. Thank you, Jeffrey.
What are the chances of the Steelers winning that division? I don't know. Baltimore's retooled. Cincinnati, if they stay healthy, could be better. And don't sleep on Cleveland.
I have a hot take before we get out of here. Very, very hot take. I think Cleveland finishes better than Cincinnati.
Boy, that Burrow threw you early on. You in mid-season.
It's not Burrow hate. I've let go of Burrow hate. This is objectivity.
I don't believe.
That's my
I don't see that. I don't see that.
They've got an offensive genius in Todd Monken who orchestrated a 500-point offense with Baltimore a year prior. You watch.
All right.
Yeah, don't sleep on Cleveland.
They're playing all right. We'll see.
Baby steps. Anyway, we got to get out of here, man. So far.
But just before we go, to answer that question on the Steelers, I think a lot of people relying on the Steelers to win on Aaron Rodgers' past performance and fame. I think they're going to be for a rude awakening. Steelers don't even be in the money.
I agree.
All right, for Statboy, for Earl the Pearl, for Mega, this your boy Naughty, and of course, Mr. Producer, this your boy Naughty. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next Sunday right here on the Press Box.
What's more likely?
Never say never, but never.
It's What's More Likely, presented by Pella Windows and Doors. I'm sitting inside the doors of the Hall of Fame. And Chris Brockman, you windows of the Rich Eisen show right behind you.
Guys, happy Friday. Great to see you. We had football last night. Hope you all took the over.
Yes,
The biggest story to come out, though, was how good Carson Beck looked. He was absolutely dealing for the Cardinals. Guys, more likely to be the higher number, week or Panthers wins this season?
Oh, come on now. I'll see Panthers wins this season. I'll go there.
That means we see Carson Beck sooner rather than later.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, buddy, parse it out.
No, I just was knee-jerking in the respect of being respectful to the Panthers.
Right.
But I just don't know. You're going to stick with Jacoby Brissett for as long as you're sticking with him. And you just throw Carson Beck in there. I'll go Panthers wins.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy. That's where I'm going to go. That was fun to watch him.
Fun game.
Throw deep balls. By the way, also getting the receiver getting blown up it's week 10 already.
Fun.
It was like welcome to the Hall of Fame game. That was cool.
It was great.
But yeah, I will say we'll see Carson Beck sooner rather than later, and we'll see the Panthers try to win the NFC South for a second straight year.
All
How
right,
does that sound?
All right, we got two of the top players you're going to take in fantasy this year. Both got paid this week. Running back who got paid, not counting, all due respect to Jonathan Taylor. To finish in the top three in MVP vote this year, Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs?
I'll go Bijan. I'll go him. We've already seen Bijan carry the ball and touch the ball a significant number of times. We haven't seen that from Gibbs yet, and I know I'm nitpicking here. How about this? I will put a pin in this one, and Marshall Faulk, who knows all about being a bell cow, who can run it and catch it and win an MVP in the process. He knows that, so we'll ask him this. Put a pin in that.
Love it.
Right now, I'll go
Love
Bijan. What else you got?
All right, Eagles camp has been raving about this guy, and Jaden Daniels got a new weapon. NFC East wide receiver in a new home to have a better season this year. Stephon Diggs or Dontavian Wicks?
Oh, I'll go Diggs. I mean, Diggs is the king of a 1,000-yard season. Come on now. I can't believe you're going to go with Diggs and sure, okay. I will say Stephon Diggs. He's going to have a really nice season in his new, if you will, Diggs.
They're both number 2 receivers for their teams now.
Oh, okay.
Who do you trust more? The new Eagles offense, another new offense.
You don't think Mekhi Lemon's going to wind up being WR2? You don't think so?
I don't know.
Okay.
Might be a little early for Mekhi Lemon.
I will just say that after McLaurin, it was a steep next step on the roster for the wide receiver spot in Washington, whereas in Philadelphia, it's not as steep a next step after Devontae Smith. What else?
Did you see this news? Aaron Donald flew out his speed trainer from Pittsburgh to L.A. this week. For the ramp up.
Is this another edition of Is He Back Yet?
I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing Aaron Donald. What's more likely is until he makes it official.
Wait a minute. Give me that again. What has he done?
He flew out his speed trainer from Pittsburgh to L.A. this week.
You can fly out speed trainers to help you get faster. If I had known that,
did you? Were you aware of that?
I'd be faster than 6 seconds by now if I knew that. I didn't know you could fly out speed trainers places.
Well, you've had Brandon Marshall, Michael Johnson, gold medal winners. Let's see, who else have you?
You've had speed trainers.
You've had speed trainers.
I'm disappointed. Otto Bolden.
Of course. Olympians. Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah. I didn't fly him out anywhere, but go ahead. Keep going.
More likely to be
the
bigger total this year. Aaron Donald sacks, Matthew Stafford interceptions. He's had 8 each of the last 2 years.
I got you. Okay. I'll go Donald sacks. Come on now. I'll go Aaron Donald sacks.
Come on now. I don't know.
Yeah. Aaron Donald sacks. More than I think Stafford's going to have fewer than 8 interceptions this year.
Aaron Donald had 8 sacks in his last season.
Okay, there you go. Okay. So what's more likely?
I got a few. How about this one? How about we talked to one of these guys earlier this week. Who's more likely to have a big bounce back season? Ladidi Mikonke or Saquon Barkley?
Oh, my goodness. Ladd is going to have a great season in this system. McDaniel is going to get him cooking, man.
Right? I mean, gotta assume that.
Saquon.
But Saquon,
I'm going to go Saquon. I'm going to go Saquon. He's going to have a bigger bounce back year than Ladidi McConkey.
Okay.
That's where I'm going to go.
How about this? Not
Also
sure.
bigger body of work.
Yeah.
Bigger body of work.
I know you were flying. You had some flight issues yesterday.